Did you know that when your stomach growls, it doesn't always mean you're hungry or your stomach's empty? In fact, it probably never means that unless you haven't eaten in 10 plus hours. There is a hormone called ghrelin, and I encourage you to look it up as usual because I am not a scientist, but I'm just going to say what I understand about it. And ghrelin is responsible for the feeling of hunger. So it makes you think about food, desire food, and it makes your stomach growl. Your brain sends a signal to release ghrelin, which then tells your small intestine and stomach to rumble. And that's that feeling you get, which I always associated with extreme hunger and my stomach being completely empty. And back when I was a all-day frequent eater, I remember I would get ready for work. I would eat a huge full breakfast, eggs, bacon, you name it, all of it. And on the way to work during my commute, my stomach would be growling. And I'd be like, is there something physically wrong with me? How could I have just eaten all that? And less than an hour later, my stomach is already empty? Like, it didn't make any sense. But now I know why. Now I know it's because I was always a chronic dieter, and therefore my ghrelin levels were all out of whack. And my my brain was asking for food when it didn't really need it. So I rarely get a growling stomach these days. I can't even remember actually, it happened recently and it was so weird. Like, I'm not used to it at all. My daughter was hearing it. She's like, was that yours or mine? But it almost never happens to me anymore because I think my hormone levels are so much more balanced thanks to intermittent fasting. Yay. But when it does happen, I know that hunger is not an emergency, and usually the hunger pangs, like the growling, whatever, will go away as soon as I stop like smelling the food I'm smelling or whatever is triggering me to like want food when I normally wouldn't eat. And I used to be someone who was afraid of hunger. I would be terrified that if I felt hungry, it was just going to get worse and worse and worse. But hunger almost never gets worse. Usually it's just a little quick wave. It's like the ghrelin gets released, you feel the hunger, and then it just goes away if you ignore it. But if it doesn't go away, that is what I would call like true hunger, and that's when I say eat. That happened to me this morning. So if I'm ever really, really tired, like I was this morning, I'm trying to finish this class and I have like no time. So I got up really early and I was exhausted. And then I had super annoying all day soccer for my daughter. And when we got there, I was like, I'm getting food. It was like 10 o'clock and I didn't care. My hungry feeling hadn't gone away. So I just assumed my body just actually needed the fuel. So I did it. Yeah, I'm not someone who walks around with a bag full of snacks anymore. Not that I really ever was, but I definitely would eat before leaving the house because I was so afraid that I would get hungry and it would just keep getting worse. And now I try to just never, if I know I'm going somewhere, I try to not eat because I know it'll be so much easier to continue not eating once I'm out of the house and distracted. And then you can get your fast longer, like, 20 hours, not crazy.